Hello again, everybody. Thanks for joining me today for Grace with Paul Gray. Been taking a few days where we contrast what the Apostle Paul calls the only true gospel, the only true Jesus, with a false or pseudo gospel, a false or pseudo Jesus. In Paul's day, he started out churches by telling them the truth about the only true Jesus, the real gospel. But then after he would be there for a while and leave some what he called Judaizers, or people from James. James was Jesus' half-brother, who was the leader of the church in Jerusalem and who was still very steeped in Judaism and in legalism, even though he knew that Christ was the Savior of the world. He was still very, very steeped in Judaism and legalism. And Paul would call out him and people from him for presenting a false gospel or a pseudo-gospel, a false Jesus or a pseudo-Jesus. Well, unfortunately, the same thing is still true today. There is the only true God, and Jesus calls him his Father, the only true God, and Jesus, and the only true gospel. And there are lots of versions of false gospels and false Jesuses. So we're taking a look at how we can recognize which one is which. And one of those things is anytime we hear a voice, anytime we hear a speaker or a teacher or read in a book or see on a video or a podcast or something, anytime we hear about a God who is an accuser, one who passes judgment, one who says, shame on you, that type of thing, that comes from a false spirit, from an antichrist spirit, if you will, because Christ is not like that at all. That's a false gospel representing a false Jesus. The real Jesus and the true gospel will never accuse, will never shame you, will never judge you, because Jesus has already judged you. He did that in his finished work at the cross. He judged you and me and everyone as righteous. He is the judge. Now, Jesus said in his own words that he doesn't judge and that the Father doesn't judge. The only judging that has been done was at the cross. Actually, it happened before creation, but it manifested itself in time and space at the cross, where Jesus judged everyone righteous. The term righteous simply means right with God. And you are right with God. So anytime you hear a voice that shames you, that puts you down, that makes you feel bad, that accuses you, that judges you, that's not the real God. The real, true God will honor you and praise you for who you are, for who he made you to be, will respect you, will love you unconditionally, not will, already does. The only true God honors you and respects you and praises you for who he's made you to be. Never judges, never condemns, never accuses, never shames you. I hope that's helpful. So anytime you have those thoughts that come into your mind from somewhere, anytime you hear someone else say, and well-meaning people will say that, well-meaning but misinformed religious people will tell you that, God is ashamed of you, judges you, condemns you, accuses you. Don't listen to that. Just know that's absolutely not true at all. We'll talk some more about this tomorrow. Hope this is helpful. Hopefully it's encouraging to you. See you next time. Thanks, everybody.